Tibukota ka take this coffee out go officer debi omo ne ka so mo to mo boase me hu say omo my responses na omo refie mo so mo aban mu eyom so mo da so opposition into mo kasa ne wakoma no so debi muntumi wo aban ma muntumi ne kasa rough okay obi ansoma say beji adwuma no una wo so obetumi aye so okay obi asere wo studio obi asere ajes obi enkoyi but ye wogidie say serious kan ye hwema ne nsai nti ye beboa no obi a de no aka na manako ba sisi apade so wada kan ye mu nansa wunya kan ye de obi so ntumi ngasa koyi nansa
wunya kan ye
ai
eye wo miracle
ai nansa 3 days
area ben no
obi a ewo Spintex towards Lashibi 17, 18. Yes. All the way to 20.
Kania.
Ibini so I just say na uko mountains uko ufi. Utu bank cannot say light they do not show do so me come mountains. Yeah. But do them you do light.
The whole so your way.
3 4 the mountain cry the west. I call them so crowns was say short. Oh. Now the only good thing about mountains one is when say weather no.
Weather no yeah.
And yeah and the one year can one ya fast here boko no yakosho. But obi it's bad. But especially for businesses for business when say ne yanka dollar na kofem kakre nanka and also because a dollar na kofem na hanem fa as a cost 90.
Yeah, but the minister has said they inherited a crisis. It will not take 5 months to deal with that crisis. The level and the magnitude of the crisis from we inherited.
Minister Nasam there, I can say I can hear the past 3 days I've been sharing series.
Yes,
on my Facebook
series, no, yes.
Unse to the bia wa wonu munsem. Etumi chechero. Me no can say minister no he's fighting himself or debating no. Or debate crisis ben. Obi crisis started time ben. Did it start on the 7th of January? And as I saying, I mean yes. Because you remember say minister na nkasa ebiene no mutun kan say power and your war my way mu.
Yes.
A broswa to the sense when he cry said the edokwa bonten cry ono ne kan yo. And this was inside November, December. So on one no mutun nti ohu de nti a o say we shouldn't be in an energy crisis situation. His own words. So I just here. You know no one so sign catch and say ohu de nti a as a sambre na yetumi akotru an energy difficulty for 12 days. As 12 days yen for timetable my for doom so I just say crisis ben refi so no oba be mun first interview I can say the total amount of fang where you work I had the be power the be 24 hours per month you know no answer in fact almost say one set up committee be a chief of staff ahead then they come back to us 3 days later and say someone resolve it yes am able to say more it will crisis will be crisis when okay obi eka ye beto ye 2017 eno I been on some beto ye difference be no pa ko check it eka ye beto ye e wo energy sector 2017 eno no beto ye
and then that's a problem
and I say
that's aka no man
8 years no ye is aka na 8 years ye beto ye no and when you manage ye the more can ya 8 years you go through crisis 8 weeks eno you understand what I'm saying? It's not enough for you to just come and recount.
But they told you, said they left you. BB and I was saying, come on, the clear sakan. You didn't do it.
Now
in Esla.
Yes, Uja BB has said the clear sakan. We didn't do it. But within that period, you making sure, say, oh, now say we didn't do it too. But within that period, you making sure, say, Kaniano, in spite of a cow or no a cow.
Kaniano FM.
Anambwa. What are you talking about? Complain men out the bay. All things being in course. See, I'm trying to say, hold it be constant. With the fancy 8 years, so you hold it be constant. We left power. So as at 7 January, everything being constant, we left you power. Why don't you give us power? Why? I don't know my power. So what is almost money where friends say car power for your meetings and fat. And they come your meeting if I can. So I did a say, and you know, on women now, and can make Jai Kasano.
This is young. Kasa the old video the rock of our woman.
Yeah, but I buy we want a Kasa Pasi energy for. I don't know if can wear what's it? You see, the net me share video on Facebook now. That is exactly what this is going through. They are fighting themselves. Oko lands and natural resources. Sem in our church. Oko energy sector, there's nothing going on with them. It is they fighting themselves. In fact, uti omkrana ya reho asamo kanu December 2024 afi ono ane ne ho nya adwen ono ane de okano ono ne ho nya adwen. It tells you that Omamba Bemu with a plan. Omamba Bemu with a strategy. Omamba Bemu with solution. The Omoye and say Omoke can semwa
Asempa FM.
Ebema Ghana for Bufu, Ashe Ghana for Bufu Ebiaka ho. No mudenya vote. That's all. Ebinka ho eno no. Nti o ka sebe at that time na sebe on process no aka ne tra se be we ni beji no obo nsem no ato aba no. Afi na obe mu na afi na waba be hu reality no ebe recount reality na chen. Obre bo sector ba ko sector bia bobu bia me kire wo de omo kan ya afi omu hu so. Enei Cocoa board CEO nam Cocoa ase no kura ne leather chair. Ne bottled water and all church or how I did the cocoa board. Now unim says how no one so bomb 6,000 and 7,000. Now unim.
Or say they didn't get the actual pay.
So on what basis
when they came to power?
So on what basis then?
The mess.
So on what basis then were you telling them when you didn't have the full picture? Were you telling them say yeah wicked? Intini ya mom 6,000. They intina unhuye. So if I tell you say now keke now they give voter, they can say my justified. It means I didn't know the complete picture. Now they unhu ni nyina yo. Enti ufi say wo say nipa not so ni timo they were wicked. Intina on for 6,000, but that's what you said. You didn't talk about a mess. So I just say, what the bedroom say my 6,000 say there's a mess. Now when him say mess intina nipa no. So called mess intina nipa no so known to be my 6,000. Say you created an impression say cocoa board was all glossy. Bibia ye kama. So I just say the D inti yetim na dinti na ma cocoa for no 6,000. Wo ba 6,000 and you were emphatic with the figure. Wa betra cocoa ase na woni yen eti cocoa na ase na wo cheche o ha wo de o ha na fa ye ho ben.
It was a foul more because Abraham and I were no more. They've opened the books and the level of mismanagement. Inti nioma bia omo pepe mu na nkombetimi aye no. They cannot do it.
The end the man wo cast over 6,000. They na ojina so kind. Now we need plan. And say e will be. Because if you have a group of people who said so much based on which omo prepare a manifesto, ebe ka chance afeni hu say na dey nti ntumi ya na say we are in trouble. Na nipa na no wo so na no one 6,000. If you say denti no 1 6,000 no.
Na ono running institution.
Or running institution down cocoa board no why they running it down. Why the cocoa roads by ya or the be taught on yama wine or the economy side of cocoa board. And you one our fast our cocoa board report and now BB Munka cracker say leaked. Haven't you seen that mess already? When I when him boss here, what are they talking now? Any another subject matter you buy a but the fundamental issue in say you don't have a full picture and yet you went around making promises. That is why sector by sector this government is struggling. Hey, oman kasa nsem na teacher omo kon. Baby abem say ban we struggle bia ye de omo kan ya afi de omo hu omo ho no.
But was struggling be a fair description because they are 4 months in power in 2 days time. Again, the impression should not be created. Say,
nobody has created that impression. We are only using the 4 months. That's why we are not picking everything. Until the picky BBI pick the IFE say a year a bit fair within 4 months. Obi, nasa oba na kasi kanye sesuna wodundum na fair. The power was stable. So that make one thing here. And now within 5 months in your why 5/5. Ni nyina ya go through crisis.
4 months.
Oh, yeah, me, Obi. That January 7th, and then January
4 months is Wednesday. 120 days here, Wednesday.
February, March, April, May. Okay. Some 4 months, why 4/4? 4 no. Why in a for our energy sector? Yan can't be before for Biao. Can you nesi so? Nejina so, or buy nejina so. Untu manina so here. What's a young crowd 4 years as one American here? Obi, a friend say, and no coherence will. The question for any question, Kofodia Krum, Finfin, Kohe Densu. And the taxi drivers almost on car say, or only overheating, or to be Kosa Densu, and from Begumaya Teche.
But it didn't start.
It didn't start. You see, Obi, I agree. It didn't start. In fact, some of the strategies that we used didn't work. Yeah. But you see, one of the reasons why we voted for this government as a country, it's not because something started earlier or started late. It was because they said they will fix it.
Okay.
So I just say, so I am not debating. Me, I'm a very fair-minded person. And start here, and yes, me too mufu. Me too mufu. No, I catch us a wound me and na 1 year. The amu kasa mo be no.
And I will remind you almost almost.
And now obi now how many days near the declare state of emergency? And no here what 6 years. And I here 5 years. And here 1 paragraph. Now the parliament. And the parliament won't go 180. In 2 hours, no one throw on the call. Why hasn't the president done that? Oba no catch and say Oba. Ube making sure say Galamsey is here chichi pity. Ube jaw more amnesty. Now walk after the campaign.
Yes.
And we making sure say won't conquer chess and for them excavators. I know what you and a woman I will parody almost a month in mouse and on the idea about by but dear back I buy we buy 4 months in ye on my year in the fight against Galamsey and not any other. But that's not what you promised us. Promising a near mafro. What to me day? Ayakayaka de meko share chief justice ni judiciary renew within 4 months. But want to be far repel a lie. Our absolute majority in parliament. 4 months and I will see a but what to the 4 months year of mining in our chief justice say free ho. Also won't tell you. But how the former who the year of mining in our chief justice say free ho. But want to mean far repel a lie our absolute majority in parliament. Obi, we should be fair to ourselves. Me, I will never ask or demand of this government anything they didn't promise because the Omicron promise you to me yet. Let alone somebody be back home. But we are simply saying that they are more kind, and one a year, I know to me yet, but they are back home. Obi, you are well read. When it comes to current affairs for my womb, but they are back informants about we are different. Omoba answer 7 January, ne be in the fight against Galamsey, not even one. Until you talk about my and they what is different in their fight against Galamsey? And they say, unlike in the past, they better now say, and so I'm penning to me stopping Galamsey, the any on penning for any adiano. And they NDC party Nankasana Kwaji Galamsey Naboso.
Party bang, that's an allegation.
Allegation. Upper Denture East was Upper Denture West. Chairman.
And he East
chairman. Yenukroma, and on the party focus share soldier for the so in a minute. Our bridge and some pediawaha. More reporter. A drone shot of bridge nechi or my say when you say who's winning now. Or say perception. I win traditional council. A man chop petition and blow man penny John Dramani Mahama. Say a more NDC MP no a Galamsey. Nananum the Troy. What are you talking about? And they your friend is saying chairman you one friend is saying NDC chairman here. Ni way the interview you haven't watched that video, eh?
No, which one is that?
And your host on come send him out. Chairman na Galamsey issue about up and idea about up a friend is saying radio station na friend interview no. Obi. Odi ni munyina di omo de. So what are you talking about? Omo na maji aboso. And this party no na Galamsey ene. Kwetiwa East, Kwetiwa West. So I just say party phone na age no mo ya anyame na make am. And Obi TUC and Kasa on the 1st of May. What you say? Galamsey has worsened. Me miracle Sambeka na bi anka ne see you are na dey taxi try to carry come about abai high. Anko beka say me na make Obi. Enya me na make TUC na bi anoka. Obi 4 months ago na TUC we kasa. On mampeni John Romani mama ye Facebook live. E be team so. TUC. And then TUC akasa. Omo nyina ye kom because omo didi. Peche. Enti omo mfa ye ho biem. In some na a how mo position na nu nti ye no ma beka so Obi. And then omo didi peche. And there was not a single day I make Kumasi. Just about I said my back Kumasi, but try radio station, I don't know. And they were better than crying. The way Finu Kumasi for. And almost will say. And I want Kumasi quiet so now think and I cook Kumasi in so Konongo Quayuna, Monsieur Sino, market one thing in the year to Galamsey. It was there.
But you also have to acknowledge the modest successes. One of them being the stability where the Ghana Hano, the dollar's strength against the cedi, it's a major thing. And when we see stability on that front, a modest success I also acknowledge the repeal of some taxes and Ghana for air complaining about. A modest success that should be acknowledged. And we've seen the president take a bold way he said appointees are to mean declare more asset by a set date, no. There has been a reprimand. I mean, some of them would be forfeiting their salaries 4 months. By Ochina close of day, won't declare automatically you are fired. These are things that should be commended.
Obi, to be very honest with you, me Maka is a very open-minded and fair person.
Yes.
Dollar minyana kaba 6.
Okay.
Yin na ebe boy.
Okay.
So ade ba kwa metiye me bom paye pan say whatever it is the government is doing that is driving the dollar down, they should I won't lie to you. Me tell me cheap ne mobi. Yen play your home. So and I'm very happy say omoje credit no. My catch say omo keep it the same energy. So omoje credit so omo ye bibi until the dollar no confirm me doma say. Bobby, we know our currency.
FM.
Me lesson ba kwa mesia e wa ban mu say when it comes to our currency in this country.
Because of the regime we operate, the floating regime, you know.
5th May 2024, a year by now. That dollar was 13 cedis. 4 months before, sir, 15 May, that dollar was 17 cedis, 2023. Between January and May, in fact, at some point, if you recall, 2024, somewhere between January and February, dollar came all the way to 11. I'm sure you remember. Between 2024, January to February, March, it came all the way to 11. 2024, year, and I was saying. So I am careful, but it is my prayer and wish to say it will come down. And I'm glad that they have owned up to take credit. Every day, also because I say 4 months pay. Now 4 months want to be taking credit for exchange rate improvement. Now want to be taking credits for Niama Oya Nutroka. Oh, it we can pick and choose. Omoni ye kaso omon to omo boas omoni ye nkase ye. Ye ne ye homo. Obi ye ne tu omo ka. Ye to ene ye tu omo
nso tua bi.
Debi omo de ni so omo ye dodo sen. Omo ye dodo sen.
Ba omo tua bi.
Obi o ka 6,000 mama.
To basket no. Omo nso
obi debi tie. Omo ye dodo na utua na esa de hwewa. Na say wo crowd ye.
Say the then that's what.
Itumu ne kasa mo ntomo bo. Komo na mo hwe yen. Ye ne ye hwe mo.
Ye nyina ye to ne ye keka bo.
Na me say
they are running the administration of
debi yama Land Cruiser. Yama friend is saying saloon car. Untofuo. O so ya ufia o te e condition bu kota ka o te condition ko fia te ko officer debi omo ne ye kasa omo to omo bo ase me hu se omo my responses na omo re fia omo so omo aban mu e omo so omo da so opposition nto omo kasa ne wakoba no so debi muntumi o aban ma untumi ne ye kasa rough obi ansoma se beji adwuma no una wo so obetumi aye
untumi
to bo ase na ne ye kasa oni ye ntumi kasa se ne wo se pe bia you don't have that liberty